us as your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
What's going on? So this is gonna be the first clip of many to come that I'm gonna start putting up on YouTube. So even after the 24 hours, you'll be able to actually go back and check it out. You know, go to the page or the subscription. It's gonna be Silently Spoken Project on YouTube. Subscribe to the page and, you know, support each video. Based upon the support, I'll just continue to put out more videos. I'm gonna take what I've done in the past and amplify it moving forward. I'm gonna cut my time down on how much time I spend on the live feeds, just so you're aware. So, you know, since this video is gonna go Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Instagram is obviously Silently Spoken Project. Facebook is the same thing, Silently Spoken Project page, and then YouTube channel, Silently Spoken Project. So with that being said, what was pressing on my mind today was the departure from a relationship. I know all too well what it's like to die on E for somebody that eventually proves that they're really a nobody. I used to say that, you know, somebody got to give you something to work with. You know, they can try, they could fail, they can make their faults, but they're still worth it. But here's the fatal flaw that I failed to mention, and that I just realized after going over scripture or after, you know, watching a couple clips. T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Jamal Bryant, those are all prominent pastors that I admire. I don't agree with everything that they say, but I respect them for how they do their ministry, how they rock, how they relay the truth and their truth. There's really no blurred lines. So with that being said, it is not the other person's job to declare whether or not you feel worthless. It's actually your job. The moment you feel like they aren't fulfilling, they aren't supplying, they aren't serving to the very things that they added up to in the beginning, that closed the deal, that even sold you on the ability to even want to deal with them, even want to apply with them, even want to, you know, arrive at a place where, damn, you know what, I've been single this whole time, but this person, they really got something going. They really got something that I like. It's really different. They did all those things to draw you in, but here's where way too many people get stuck on. Don't fail to realize that what they did to get you to sign a deal, that was an advancement, but they still got to honor the contract. Increases, rotations, no complacency. Treat it like a business transaction. If there's not further development, then guess what? You're not going to develop. You're only going to depreciate. Stop going from priceless to worthless and then want to blame everybody else. I myself have blown up in the past on people, and people like, oh, let's see what your followers would say, what your clients would say. They'd be able to tell you, real rap, at the end of the day, I'm human. I don't have all the answers. Even Jesus blew up. So if you want to sit here and quote scripture when it's applicable towards the cause that you're trying to quote a situation to justify your wrongdoings, that's actually blasphemous. So when people try to use scripture to maintain and hold you down to something, you got to realize that they got something really, really backwards. And that's when they say a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing, because they took the little bit that they know about the Bible and then they manipulated it. Kind of like why I don't really attend a whole lot of churches, because people say what they want, talk about, you know, come to Jesus, surrender your heart to Jesus. And yet they're looking at my tattoos or looking at your dress. Why is she wearing that? That look like she ready for the club. What if that's all she had? What if my tattoos told my story? But again, those are those holy hypocrites, a term I created two years ago. And I've been using more and more because I finally trademarked it, since people love stealing my work, love stealing my words and putting their name on it. but I own that. And with that being said, in a relationship, people will blow up. But that's the thing. And this is where a lot of people live, myself included. I used to live in this space. You feel like, this is how you know you have a different heart from them. Let me bring that back. You feel like there was something more you could have did. You feel sorry for blowing up. Even though in the moment you might have said, I hate you, F you, you stupid B, you stupid N-word, whatever it might be. You're not wrong for that if you're trying to evolve. But people got it twisted. I don't walk through nightmares, but don't get it twisted. I had to become a nightmare at times in my life to stand up for self. Does that justify it? At that point in my life, it did. I cannot penalize myself for what I did in the moment if that was all that I had to give. If people aren't going to stand up for you, then you got to stand up for you. And people aren't going to stand up for you until you start standing up for you. That's just the reality of life. Yes, we would love to think that everybody's not going to abuse us, not going to betray us, not going to cheat on us, not going to whatever. But just because you're that way doesn't mean that they're that way. They might say they're that way. Guess what? Being a fraud has an expiration date. In time, if you ask for signs, eventually you will see between the lines that got erased, the copy facts, the fact that they copied the same script over and over and over and over and just handed it out like pamphlets, like you see people that be preaching with a megaphone on a corner. Guess what? The reason why it sounds so real is because they really practice it 1,000 times over with everybody else. You got to read through that. Blood in, blood out. All in or all out. Every person I've ever dated in my life all has the same sad story. Oh, I can't talk to you because you're so mad. Yo, bro, I don't want to make it worse since I hurt you already. Yo, slime, I don't want to sit here and bring up something and, make it more brazy than what we already got going. Yo, my G, I look up to you, but, I didn't mean to put you down. We can do the whole wave, left and right. And in the end of the day, people are going to do what they want. People are going to say what they want. People are going to knock what they want. Don't fall victim to it. Be you, unapologetically. Be you. Understand your worth. Because no matter what they say, no matter what they do, how they met you is not going to be how they left you. How you met them, the very things that they claim to admire about you will be the very things that fuel the fire to hate you in the end. Anybody that hates you, and you gave it your all, you was never selfish, you was considerate of their feelings, you didn't try to love them the way you wanted to, you loved them on their terms, then guess what? They got an issue, not you. When I say blood in, blood out, I mean all in or all out. God doesn't even talk about being lukewarm, so how can you sit there and try to be lukewarm? Vet your source. Words have a way of drawing a blueprint towards what somebody is really up to. If they say, oh, my whole past, all I did was give my all and get cheated on and blah, 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 blah. Listen to that. But if all they ever talk about is what they didn't do, if all they ever talk about is what happened to them and how it was this person's fault, that person's fault, this person's fault, get away from that person. I don't care if you had a checklist of 10 things that you always wanted in somebody and they had 9 out of that 10. That one thing that they're missing could be the very thing to destroy and outweigh the other 9 things. And that's accountability. You cannot be with somebody that lacks accountability. You cannot be with somebody that is going to only favor you and move with you and move for you only when you're giving something to make them move in your direction. That's why it's so easy for them to move on without you, because they was never moving within you. I tell people that got dyslexia, and then I stutter on purpose. And then I tell people you got dicklexia, meaning you messed the whole situation up. They talk about some we stuff, but if devil is twice the force of good, then we stuff, really, if you flip it the other way, it's they on some me stuff, not we stuff. We in French, yes, guess what? That's what they wanted you to believe, so they can flip it and then be on some me stuff after they sucked you dry for everything that you had. I've yet to meet a person that I've dated that has fought harder for me than I've seen a crackhead fight to go borrow, steal, whatever. Because unlike others, I see positivity in everything. So I watch the way squirrels be chasing after each other. I watch the way fiends be going after their next fix. I be watching the way people pick their kid up and put their kid down. I be watching how people pump their gas and are they paying attention to the signs. I watch the way people smoke a cigarette and throw it on the floor when there's a smoking station that you can just easily put it in the trash. I watch everything. And I see inspiration in everything. What about you? This is what this whole feed is about. What about you? Because I promise you, and I guarantee you, a minimum of one person, at least one person, if you feel this way, then this whole message was worth it. How many times did you sit there and give your all, but all in the end, after all that you've done, you felt you were worth all of nothing because you gave everything to somebody that never saw you as meaning anything to you? I'll wait. And that's just it. I've had so many people that when they're in that, they got that flu shot of love where it already has the bacteria, they already has the illness to make you sick. That's how you got to realize situations are in life. Don't trust man, trust God. He's giving you that flu shot of situations and seasons and reasons and lessons and blessings, and he has to give you the poison so when you finally get to your rightful place, it's actually gonna make you immune to the dumb stuff. But if you keep chasing after the same shot, you notice the shot's never the same. If you look at the scientific breakdown of the chemistry of a flu shot, it's never the same every year. That's the difference. You gotta get in it. You gotta be placed in it. You gotta go through it in order for it to go through your system. But you don't have to stay stuck on it. Think of how many times you caught the flu. Are you still telling everybody about how you caught the flu? Are you still complaining about how you caught the flu? Are you still tripping about how, oh, damn, the flu virus is in my system. I got sicker when I got the shot than without the shot? Remember that. Because sometimes you got to remember that it ain't God giving you that shot all the time. There's a movie, it's a Disney movie that I was watching with one of the little mamas in my life or whatever. And I think it's The Tooth Fairy with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And shout outs to that dude because he's really killing it. And I respect him to the nth degree. But in The Tooth Fairy, he sat there and downplayed the whole fairy tale of a tooth fairy. And he failed to realize that he was speaking from a hurt place. Because he got hurt and he got comfortable where he was at, he then took it out on the dreams of other people. Be careful of dream killers. That's a cancer you need to get rid of. Because in that movie, he was allotted a bag of tricks. A wand to make people, to make himself do whatever magic. A little bit of dust to make him make others forget, a little bit of some spray to shrink himself down. But see, he didn't value the tools that he was given. So he wasted each trick that he had. He wasn't the treat, he was the trick to the treat. And the treat malfunctioned because it was food poisoning, because he wasn't whole within. Then when he ran out, he didn't go to the fairy godmother. He went to a side dude that bamboozled him into buying some tricks that were watered down. Then when he got into a stuck situation, he then tried to use the tricks that he was taught to only turn around, and then he realized malfunction. He sprayed it on himself. Half his body disappeared. The other half was still there, scared the hell out of people. He sprinkled some dust to make people forget how he was just there and what they seen, and that was the purpose of the original tool that he was given. And I'm going to connect these dots, and then I'm going to finish, I promise. And then the wand didn't work. It didn't help anybody. But that's what happens when you try to jump and be your own God. Don't let go, let God. Then tell God how you want it to go. Let go, let God means you let it go. Right, left, up, down, in between, stop, roll, whatever. You letting God handle your business. But the reason why I brought up the Tooth Fairy movie, because it's very important to focus on the fact of the whole flu shot from God versus an injection of a shot by man, aka representing Satan. Had he paid attention to what he had in his pouch, kind of like how God gives us the ability to be understanding, to be caring, to be enduring, to be, moving, to be uplifting, to be a caterer, to be a supporter, to be a rider, to be a person that just sits there and goes hard and hard and hard and hard without no end. That's why they say God never gives us more than we can handle. It's not a single parable that you'll be able to find in the Bible, but it's a fact of life that God will never give you more than you can handle. So if God never gives you more than you can handle, kind of like The Rock was given the tools in the Tooth Fairy movie, kind of like the flu injected shot from God, I'm going to tie it all back together, then I'm going to wrap it up. If God never gives you more than you can handle, kind of like the fairy godmother that gave The Rock all the things that all he needed to do was go in the pouch, respect what was given to him, respect why he was putting in time out, turned around and used it, but also appreciated the things that he had going for himself in that pouch, realized that the Tooth Fairy was trying to use through a child to spark that fire that has to be there as adults, meaning no limitations, a supernatural being God. God never gives us more we can handle. So does that mean that God's never going to put me in a situation that's going to cost my demise? Yes, because God says all things are used for the greater good, not some things, not part-time things, not seasonal things, not somebody that came in your life, gave you everything that you thought you wanted, then turned around and was just like, hold up, I'm not ready. There's a difference. God never gives us more than we can handle. So that means when we went left and when we went right, when we went up, when we went back, when we blame God, when we curse God out, when we didn't curse out man, when man is the one that hurt us, not God, he was still going to use that for the greater good. Wait, so what are you saying? Well, what I'm saying is life is a heaven-sent charge of entrapment. Good, bad, in between, it's all for the greater good of you and others. You and them others. You and the other. But that's just it. Let go, let God. God never gives us more than we can handle. Damn, Jay's bugging. He connected the dots on the fairy tale movie with The Rock. How does a fairy tale movie conflict or coexist with what I'm trying to say? And how does that go back to relationships? Because I didn't lose my point. I said blood in, blood out. No halfway. No, it's either all or out. You know what? If that didn't connect the dots for you, I'm going to bring it to you in a different way. I used to teach martial arts. And one thing that I learned is you can't have one foot in one direction and one foot in the other direction with no center balance. Because somebody can just come, a 3-year-old can come and just push you and you're gonna fall over. That's why you can't be half in and half out. That's why in a relationship you can't go back to the same place that you lost your happiness in. Because if they didn't even care to make you lose your happiness, why do you think they would care to heal you to make you happy again? Please explain. I'll wait. I am so tired of people claiming to be something that they're not. And then when they cause them a mess, and I'm sure a lot of real ones can attest to this, you gave your all. You might have just lost your job, but when you gave them a meal, they didn't need to know that you collected 10 cents from this can, 10 cents from over here, just to put together that $30 package to go to the store. But let's not forget, maybe it was snowing outside, maybe it was raining, maybe it was too hot, maybe, you can't sit here and understand what went behind it, but that's your job, to just enjoy the blessing, not to know what the how was about. And now you downplayed everything. And that's just it. Stop focusing on what somebody just did. You don't know what went into somebody and what they had to do to really put that out there, to really go that hard for you. But at the same time, if they never asked, why are you troubling yourself when you ain't got no money, but you made that happen for them? That's the difference. People want to sit here and blame other people for their misery. No, I can never blame a single ex that I've ever been with. I can never blame a single relative that I dated. I can never blame anybody but myself. But I'm exonerated, and so are you. Every moment that you moved on without them, guess what? That means that they weren't meant to be a part of the rest of the story. They served their purpose. In the end of the day, if you ain't got you, who else is going to have you? Because when I say that, when you got you, that means you serve God. You know God got your best interests. And without a shadow of a doubt, even if you don't understand what's going on, God got you. And that's the problem with relationships. In the end of the day, stop penalizing yourself. I know it doesn't help when you're in it and you're going through it, because of your heart, you want to go back and you want to do more and do more. Be thankful it was as bad as it was, when it was. Because that bad relationship paid for your job promotion. That bad relationship is the reason why your children are healthy. That bad relationship is the reason why you were speeding way faster than the other person. The cop tagged you but gave you a warning. It might not even pulled you over. That bad situation taught you how to be tolerant of ignorance. And in a situation where, let's say somebody did something to you, you turned around, you could have blew their brains away. But you didn't, because of that situation that taught you all about ignorance. And now you can still move on and be a mother, be a father, be a brother, be a sister, be a uncle, be an auntie, be a cousin, be a good friend, be a best friend, be a rider, be a supporter, a life changer. But I tell you this much. If a man hurts you, the end and resolve is you can't go to a woman to heal you. I don't care what any of the other professionals say. They can aid you, but in my opinion, this ain't a fact, in my opinion, if a male hurt me, I gotta go to a female to offset that one male situation. If a female hurts me, I got to go to a male to help me aid with the understanding to get over that one situation. Stop going where you think it's easier because you're a woman and you got besties that are women. How do you know they are not the ones that are really playing on your misery? Meaning they want you to be miserable, so they're giving you the wrong information, coating it with some sugar. I got diabetes towards the truth. I don't sugarcoat not a damn thing, and that's just real rap. The difference between abuse and the difference between tough love, aka discipline, God's love has a meaning. The devil is ignorance, procrastination. God, he give you a gun, fully loaded clip, safety on. The devil tells you the clip is fully loaded. There's only one bullet in the chamber, safety broken. He sets you up to fail. God sets you up to prevail. There's a difference. Stop sitting here coaxing and you know what? I'ma just say one more thing and that's it. I'ma just go off on them and that's it. Please tell me in the history of man when one more thing actually helps. I'll give you 3 situations and then I'm done in 2 minutes, I promise. Calm down when somebody's amped. Nobody's ever calmed down. Oh, it only get better. It can't get any worse. Yeah, it can. And my favorite is, it's not you, it's them. Yes, it is you. It's also them, but you chose them. Your past transgressions are a reflection of what lies within self. If you're not making any progressions, then that means the progress must be manipulated towards something else. That means you got a leak in your gas line. Where is it going? Where is it at? How do you cover it? How do you patch it? Do you need to replace the whole line? God keeps filling you up, but you keep burning out when you're supposed to go 400 miles, but you burn out in 200 miles. That's how relationships that aren't worth your time really end up. You can't be out here focused on trying to prove a point, trying to get them to care, trying to be considerate of what you're saying. Because real rap, and I've done it so many times, yelling at people and losing my cool over just the ignorance of it. And then people downplay it, which only pisses you off more. The reason why they can play the victim act and the reason why they see no wrong in what they're doing is because they didn't have real feelings to begin with. Because anybody with real feelings is not going to really put you through any of that real dumb ish. They're not going to sit there and jeopardize losing you. If they mess up, they gon' make it right. That's the difference. Somebody with no real feelings but think that they have real feelings, but if you look at their life, nothing goes beyond a certain point, but they always want to talk about how they were mistreated. Or to say my past life was a nightmare. And I still like it. To say pain was a curse is pain was my gift because it gave me the opportunity to have the blessings to gain. Stop looking at it the way you've been looking at it. I don't care what you gave. I don't care if it was 2 children, 1 child, 10 years of your life, 15 years of your life. Well, maybe if you paid attention to the signs that you asked for, you wouldn't have spent 15 years of your life in that wrong situation. Maybe if you paid attention to the signs instead of thinking that you could do it all, God gave you a gift, you turned it into a curse because you tried to gift somebody that was cursing. How does that ever make sense? It doesn't. And that's real rap. So when you mad at everybody else, understand, be mad at yourself. But don't be mad at yourself and live in that fear. Fear doesn't exist. In the end of the day, you attach fear to an existence. Oh, I lost my loved one. How do I move on? I don't know I don't know what to do anymore. The person that I love with all my heart, they're dead. It's like, no, I'm not gonna move on ever again. I'm just gonna stay stuck here. I'm scared to date. In the world of social media, they got Match.com, they got Black People Meet, they got mixed couples mingles, they got Tinder, they got Plenty of Fish, they got Instagram, they got Twitter, they got Snapchat, they got Facebook, they got all these blogs, they got all these things, and it's just like I don't know what to do with all these false representatives. Like, how do I do it? And you know what? I'm just gonna stay to myself. But then when I get by myself, I feel kind of lonely. So it's just like, so what did I do? Like, my loved one's gone, but I kind of want to move on. But nah, that's kind of wrong, because there was a love of my life. But so that means that if God took something away, then that's just what it is. But damn, you just talking yourself right out of your own blessings. They are a loved one that were promoted to angel, but who says you have to stop loving them? They're a loved one that faded away, but who said that you had to stop riding for them? They're gone in the flesh, but spiritually evolving and promoted. Why would you stop adhering to the things that they wanted for you, which were to make you happy? I don't care if it was the love of your life. God never ordained any of us to be alone. So seclusion, funny how seclusion always end up in depression. Get it how you live it. I quote facts, not opinions. Feelings, those are opinions. Your thoughts about stuff, those are opinions. I can't pay my bills with them. Neither can you. Try calling a bill collector saying, like, you know what? My period was really bad this week. I couldn't even go to work, son. And I can't pay you this week because I didn't go to work. Or for the dudes, damn. I just spent like $200 on some new J's, or, oh my God, this girl that was giving me everything left me. Do you think I can pay you in like 3 weeks, Verizon? Nah, son. That's not how life works. But yet, why do you sit there and try to buy your way into blessings by using your arsenal of excuses? Your past is nothing more than monopoly money. It's of existence. The day you can take $100 from a Monopoly game and then go into a Gucci store and spend that $100 is the day that your feelings matter. In the end of the day, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to recap, because I talked about The Tooth Fairy, the movie with The Rock. Watch it. It's kind of funny, but then watch it again after you watch this live feed. Fear is not real. You're real, and you made something that was unreal become a reality. Because what you focus on subconsciously then thus turns into your reality. When you sit there, and this goes to every woman and every man that may see this, if you want to sit here and advertise privately to God that you want a rider, you want somebody to love you, you want somebody that's going to hold you down, but then you go out publicly and regurgitate and refute everything that you pray to God about, you ain't got no damn right ever feeling bad when nothing but misery comes your way. Because what you say in private, you're supposed to practice in public. And what you say in public, you're supposed to be practicing and meditating on in private. Get your priorities in order. Put the blame where it belongs. Send some apologies that you actually mean. And don't start them off by, oh, it wasn't my intention to hurt you. And I tried to make it right, but I couldn't do anything about it. I made the situation worse. Stop talking about everything that doesn't matter. Stop sitting there staying with people that talk about everything that does not matter. If you told them you never spend time with me, I don't like name brand stuff, but you never even do the simple things. You don't communicate with me. You don't even pray with me. Those are 5 simple things. And they start off their rebuttal, well, that's not true. I'm not saying I don't want to spend time with you. What do you call, buying roses on Valentine's? That's kind of a name brand thing. Well, I talk to God about you. I do pray for you. You're trying to rebuttal everything that person you claim to care about has just said, and all you did was dance around what was just delivered and dropped on your head. And that's the problem with people. And I know when you have a caring heart and you mean well, that pisses you off to the next degree. Because you're like, yo, how are you this dumb? That I've been all about you. I knew you would hurt me. But I felt as though you would finally get the picture. And you would finally see that, wow, that person didn't care about my excuses. They didn't care about the mistakes. They cared about the fact that I kept choosing to make a mistake, which makes the mistake not a mistake because you didn't mistaken. You sat there and you mistreated, and now they left and retreated. But here's the other thing, though. If you can quote everything about somebody else and they can't quote anything about you, I dare everybody that catches this video to vet your source. Question your partner. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite genre of music? What's your favorite movie and why? What's your favorite movie line and why? What's your favorite scripture outside the common scriptures of Adam and Eve ones, King David, Psalms, the cliche ones? What size shoe do I wear? What size pump do you wear? What's on your bucket list? What's your goals for this week? What's your goals for today? When you say I love you, what do you love about me? Do you love the idea of trying to love me? Do you love what I do for you and that's why you love me? Which doesn't make it love, but you can be honest. Does that mean you love to say you love me because it's practice? Ask those hard questions. If they start getting shelter shocked, that's your sign right there. If you have to tell somebody how to treat you, you don't need to be with them. I've left a lot of people, but I've never left a loved one. Meaning, nobody that's been left indebted was somebody I loved. Because the moment I realize you're a fraud, you're a joke, you're a liar, everything is null and void. Whether we're married, whether we're dating, whether we're brothers, whether we're sister and brother, whether we're cousins, whether we're auntie and nephew, you're deaded. And everything you did is null and void. I no longer feel bad. One personal account with a particular ex, they said to me, I don't care how you feel. I know that I love you. My response to them was, well, if that's the definition of love, you can have that. Because that ain't love. I know what love feels like. I know what love will have you doing. If love was really in your system, then guess what? You would understand why you hurt me so bad, and you probably wouldn't have kept doing it. I've yet to meet a woman that actually can communicate with me. Meaning, understand that if I'm your man and we're trying to build a future, why are you running to your girls every time you want to talk about something? Last point. in the end of the day, this is going to be in the book that's coming out next month. The title of the book, Selective Application Disorder. Meaning, you got to be on demand with your channels. You got to deviate from what you want to say and DVR your heart's messages and heart scars from based upon your past. Meaning, let's say I'm dating a woman, right? Well, matter of fact, I'll speak from personal experience. I'm dating a woman and something happens at work. And she calls me. She's going off, blitzing. Spanish, Portuguese. I understand some German, understand, patois, understand Creole. Like, whatever she's going off. She might even be dropping F-bombs, this B, this N-word, da-da-da-da-da. As her king, it is not on her to tell me in that moment, based upon her breath count, her size, her cussing, her mannerisms, her lack of professionality, her courtesy to only think about what she's going through. It's not my job to be like, wait. So, wait. What do you mean? Like, wait, what did I do? Da, da, da. Why are you talking to me like that? Blah, 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 blah. No. As her king, on demand, homie. Shorty called me. I get on the jack with her, and she's going off. You know what? She needs her friend right now. Shorty called me. Pick up the jack. She's talking about a relative doing her greasy, doing her dirty. My queen needs her man right now. Shorty called me. She's going through it. Got denied a promotion. One of her baby daddy is wilding out, or if she doesn't have children, an old friend did her dirty. Ended up sleeping with a person that she used to date. As her man, should I really get in my feelings like, oh, so why are you focused on your ex? It shouldn't matter or whatever. No, that's not the time for it. She's not of sound mind at the time. What you need to do is sound your mind and be mind sounded, meaning let your mind echo where you're supposed to be while you're on that jack receiving the call. In the end of the day, you're supposed to hit that jack like she needs her rider and she needs her lover right now. She needs somebody that's going to give her security that ain't going to be a repeat with you right now. In the end of the day, that's all we're supposed to do. If you're with somebody and you got to tell them how to treat you, there's a problem with you. You need to realize you need to keep it moving from them. Yeah, nobody's perfect, but you got to give somebody something to work with. Don't get with me in hopes to become a better you. This ain't Salvation Army. This ain't, the factory. This ain't Willy Wonka. I'm not going to put some sugar on your joint and turn you into a golden goose. You supposed to do that out of respect for what you're asking for. If you don't do that, the problem's really with you, not with anybody else. If you want longevity, then you need to pay for longevity by getting everything in you that's temporary. If you want a good dude, then be a good woman. Because I've met a whole lot of women that claim to be good and still to this day will post up pics about their children. But I know those same females used to talk about killing themselves and how I'm such a mess up and victim me, victim me. But you want to sit here and protest to the world how much you care about your children when that should be the first thing, if nothing else. If you don't value yourself, how could you ever think about offing yourself if you love your children so much publicly? But that's publicly, not privately. So what are we talking about? And then I'm going to wrap this to this. Like, how does that correlate with relationships? Because it's the same damn premises. It's the same common denominator. Consistency, conviction, affliction, devastation, destruction, elevation, promotion, appreciation, and healing. Thus concluding on a blessing. Blood in, blood out. All in or all out. And anybody that want to sit here and contest the factors of love that, oh my God, this isn't, this isn't how I pictured it. At the end of the day, I do not care about what you didn't do. I can only quote what you did do. You can tell me you're blue in the face. You can hear somebody tell you till you're blue in the face that, hey, you know what I mean? And they're so sorry. They didn't mean to do this. They didn't mean to do that. That's great, but you're not fixing anything. You're not changing anything. They're going to sit here and call you crazy. They're going to sit there and hang up on you when you go off on them because they never cared about you. If I do something to somebody, I deserve to hear everything about how it made them feel if I really care about them and if I really want to make it right. The last thing I should do is give somebody my silence or do a cop-out. Well, I'm going to just walk away because I don't want to do more damage than I already did. At the very least, fix the damage that you did do. But most people won't do that because people with real emotions aren't going to really put you through anything because they have real emotions. Vet your source. So stop putting yourself in the doghouse courtesy of other dogs that you thought was going to finally evolve. Stop falling for potential. Ask those questions that I put out there. But truth is always going to be consistent. Facts are always going to be facts. There's nothing you can do about them. I'll leave you with that, and then I'll leave you with this. In the end of the day, you are not passing judgment when somebody condemns themselves. I've sat on way too many calls with way too many people that stayed messing up but claim to this day that they care about me, but you couldn't get them reach with me if you were dying right now. Because when I dead you, you deaded yourself. I just helped you seal the casket. I don't have time for you in my future when you were a bad story to my past. People change, and that's great. Change for the next person. I don't do that in between stuff. Catch me while I care, because I've never re-cared, re-respected, re-trusted, re-loved, or re-appreciated somebody after they canceled all those things out before. I used to, but then I realized I had an issue with self, and that's why I did it. I was having a one-sided affair with my past because people failed me. I was sitting there trying to turn it around and be like, you know what? Because people failed me, I just got to be there for other people. Because I don't want anybody to feel like how I've been made to feel. Miss me with that, bro. If somebody tells you something in the beginning and then does the complete opposite, their definition is their condemnment, their judgment. They judge themselves. All we are is the audience. All we're responsible for is to watch what you said you was going to do. If I tell you that I'm going to make this iPhone disappear when I count to 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, shoot, it didn't disappear. That makes me a fraud. That makes me a liar. That makes me a F-boy. That makes me a clown. I told you I was gonna make it disappear. It's not in my hands right now. But if you call it and you get through and I pick up like, yo, what's popping? Then that really means that I got an identity crisis going, because I can't separate fiction from reality. How many times have you sat there and asked people, so what do you call that? Or how could you do that to me? Just like that. I'm gonna make this iPhone disappear. In 1, 2, 3. Let's see who texted me today. It's still here. That's the problem. But those same people, because they're guilty of those crimes, they don't want to own up to them. So you don't own them, depart from them. Because lack of accountability, you might be able to control your temper and just blow up with your mouth right now. You take that aggression that you have, all that hurt. You don't know somebody till you know somebody. I can't stand people that say, oh, well, I'm not going to admit to something just because you want me to say what you want or what you think I am. No, sorry, I graduated from kindergarten. I got a PhD on doing me. I got a PhD on pain. I don't live backwards and expect everything to go forwards. I don't get a speeding ticket in a parking spot because I thought I was moving with momentum, but really my momentum just had me shutting down like adrenaline. There's a difference. I call it what it is because I don't want to be like people that live for lies. You always just might, kinda, sorta, shoulda, woulda, might never, who knows, I don't know, silence your way through the whole relationship. You want to cry, but why you crying? Miss me with all that, bruh. Vet your source. And I know I said there was going to be a short joint, but hey, I guess I'm like your past. That's why I didn't do a short joint. I told you it was going to be a short joint and nobody caught it to this day. I got a timer on both my jacks. Like, that's the point. And not a single person has ever corrected me saying, you said 5 minutes. You actually said 2 minutes. I can quote everything that I said. But the difference between your past and me, hi, I'm JJ. I did it out of love. Your past, they did it out of lust. Your past, they did it just to keep you around for the length of whatever they could get out of you. You are worth what you feel you're worth, but your true worth is depicted by the worthless people you allow to remain in your life. I am not condemning everybody, but if somebody shows you who they are, tells you who they are with their actions, it is now your obligation to walk away. Because guess what? You're not really walking away, you're just going for a walk because there was nothing there for you to stay. I promise you, it's a cancer you don't want. Get it how you live it. Like I said in the beginning, this video will be posted on here. This video will also go on YouTube beginning today. YouTube channel, Silently Spoken Project. Instagram, Silently Spoken Project. Facebook, Silently Spoken Project. Guess what? I own Silently Spoken Project. Thank you to those of you that donate and give back to the causes. I laid them all out, and if you didn't catch that or don't want to read that, go to the SSP donate, I think it's donate here, and click on the link, and you don't have to donate, just read the story. I keep it 100. But I don't make excuses. The fun's kind of slowed down, but you know what? I'm just going to come up with another way to finish up what I was doing, because for the last 4 years, I didn't get to 7 figures that I gave away with anybody's help. I did it all by myself. And there's no way in hell I can go on a date. I can sit there and be chopping it up, drinking, chilling, when I know there's somebody in the world that feels alone and feels like they don't have anybody. What I look like spending $200 at the bar to sit here and pop bottles. Pop bottles for what? When there's somebody out there that's popping pain meds because they feel they're alone. I know I can't get to everybody, but God damn it, I'm gonna get to as many people as I can every single day of my life. If that means I gotta go homeless just so that somebody can have a home and not feel less than because they feel like when you have home, you can't be less than, then cool, I'm gonna get them a crib. If a single mother is trying and busting her behind and all she needs is a little help, then what I look like going on a date? What I look like practicing safe sex, buying condoms and dating and being in a relationship or being married right now when I need to help a few people get divorced from some depression. I don't move like everybody else. The difference between me, the difference between others, there's a whole lot of people out there that claim to do what I do. Go and quote their life. These little pop-up celebrities, these little people with their name brands and their pictures and all that, miss me with all that. Silently Spoken Project wasn't about stunting. When you want to see how good God has treated you and show the world that also, it doesn't come with thievery. It doesn't come with being greedy. It doesn't come with self-indulgence. That's what SSP is all about. You always see me in construction clothes for the most part because I'm always ready to get it. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, YouTube channels from this day forward. These videos will be up there. You missed it today. I mean, you can catch up on it there. Per usual, as I've always signed off and as I always conclude and begin my days, I did do my 26 hours straight away where I stay up for 26 hours straight. So I'm gonna do a couple more posts, answer some emails, and then I'm gonna finally go to sleep. But I do 26 hours of suicide prevention. I've been doing it for 3 years. I do it anonymously. I get on suicide blogs. I answer certain suicide questions to random pages. I give out my third line to certain people. Just, I don't care where you are in the world. My phone covers internationally and nationally. And I just let them know that you're not alone. And I just started telling everybody about it within the last maybe, several weeks. But I've been doing it for 3 years. I don't care about praise. So, per usual, shout out to the kings and queens that rock with me. I love y'all. Shout out to the people that keep it real. The kings and queens that rock with me. Shout out to the teens that are reaching for that crown. Shout out to the kids that are still pushing on. And shout out to God for holding it down. Because pain has been the best gift and blessing he ever gave me. Shout out to everybody that ever hurt me. Shout out to everybody that ever betrayed me. Shout out to everybody that's in heaven. No condolences. Blood, sweat, and tears done signed my name. You could never take what you didn't give me. Any more than you can't take my sanity. God controls my destiny. Sorry. 100.